We'll start with a grounding seated meditation and then move into about 50 minutes of yoga movement, so yoga poses that you probably recognize, as well as some joint resiliency, some neck physical therapy, movements, not physical therapy. I'm not a physical therapist, but things I picked up along the way, some lymphatic shaking, some dynamic breathing, some stress relief, some anxiety relief, and we'll end with a nice long Savasana final relaxation pose. That'll be a reclining meditation with some Tibetan singing bowls. Somebody reached out to me and they have tinnitus, which is like a ringing in their ear from one of the tours that they did in the Middle East in the armed forces, and so the singing bowls are like trigger that, which is just makes me sad. But yeah, I think Tibetan singing bowls are kind of like a hit or miss. People are like, I'm into it, it's weird, but I'm into it. Or they're like, that's the most awful thing I've ever heard in my life. I completely respect that. And I'm gonna keep playing them. I would like to actually get some crystal singing bowls, because those have like less of a metallic sound to them, but they still have the same or like a similar sound, but less metallic. That's the best way I can kind of describe it, but it's not in the budget right now. But we'll see. It's on my wish list. My birthday's coming up next month. Hello, Pisces season. So we've got lots of watery vibes coming up. So that might be a little birthday gift to myself. And then obviously to the stream, because I mean, I don't even who cares about having things unless you can share them with other people. So we're about to get started here in just about a minute. And so what you'll need is just a mat or a towel or a blanket or just a carpeted surface so that your joints are happy with you, and your attention. That's really all you need. You don't have to be wearing yoga pants, but stretchy clothes is going to make it easier. And everything that I lead you through is an invitation, so don't feel like it has to look the way it looks in my body. It should just feel good in yours. Even challenging can feel good. So you feel like you don't have the strength to sustain a pose, just challenge yourself to do one full breath more than you thought. You might surprise yourself. So we leave it open to the possibility of surprising yourself. But if something doesn't feel good in your shoulder or in your knee, one of your joints, then just back off. Just begin again. Get back into the pose, going through all the steps. Sometimes you just need a reset. We don't want to put any unnecessary stress in our joints. So, on that note, I can hear that the patio door is open, but we're just gonna let that go. I'm sure Daydream will close that when he gets out of the shower and notices. A little puppy foot right in my way. So we're gonna get started here, seated nice and tall, whether that's in a chair or on the ground is all good. Take a moment here to just silence your devices. Hands come to rest on the lap, either palms down to ground down, or palms up to give and receive energy. If you feel you've got a little extra to give today, heart comes over hips, head over heart. We'll start with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears, and out through the mouth, an audible sigh as the shoulders drop down. Eyes can close if that's comfortable. If not, a soft gaze just beyond your legs is appropriate and available. And allow the breathing to continue at a normal, just in and out through the nose if that's available. Taking a moment here to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. Become present to yourself here in this moment, here in this space. Allowing sounds into your awareness. Maybe the sound of landscapers mowing the lawn. Passing traffic on the street below. Allowing all sounds in, all part of this moment, this experience. And feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Feel the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. The weight of your hands on your knees. And begin to scan your body from head down towards toes. Checking in for any places of tightness or sensitivity. Any restlessness or fidgeting. Using this information to inform your practice for the rest of class. We'll shift the awareness from Annamaya Kosha, the body, to Pranamaya Kosha, the energy. I'm just noticing where you're at in this moment on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to crawl into bed. 10 being so full of energy it's hard to sit still. You may notice as we check in daily on our energy scale that some patterns begin to arise. You may even be able to reflect on what you did the night before, just before class, that affects where you land on that scale. Not good or bad, just something to notice. And shifting the attention to the breath. No need to change it, just observe inhalations, exhalations, whatever space in between. Shift the awareness up to Manamaya Kosha, the mind. Allow thoughts and feelings to arise freely. and observe them from a distance, like a screen, like an image being projected onto a screen. The storyline goes on without our direct participation. Notice, what are the quality of the thoughts today? Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they ruminating on the past or attempting to predict the future? Not good or bad, not right or wrong, just something to notice. And we'll bring the attention back down to the breath. This time actively expanding the breath. Every inhale sips in a little more air. And every exhale lets something more go. Inhale fills belly and ribs like a balloon expanding. And every exhale zips the ribs in and pulls belly button in towards spine, using some muscle effort in this breath. Keeping the breath slow and easy. We'll begin our equal parts breathing, equal parts pranayama. On your next inhale, beginning to count 4, 5, 6, and so on, until you get to the very top of your breath, where there's no space for even a sip of air more. Whatever number you land on, say it's 10, exhaling to the same count. Inhaling for 10, exhaling for 10. Continuing like that. Staying tall in your seat, shoulders gently pulled back, space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy. The tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. mind wanders, bring it back to the breath, back to counting. And on your next exhale, releasing any counting or effort from the breath, returning to a natural pace. Hands come to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra, thumbs pressed into sternum and no space between the fingers. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice. It might be the sankalpa, the heart's desire you've been working with all year, or something new might have inspired you to show up to your mat today. And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. You're invited to chant along with me. First, a cleansing breath. Allow your hands to release to your lap, chin drops towards chest. And then inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. And left ear rolls towards left shoulder. So allowing the head to gently roll side to side. Begin to open up the space between ear and shoulder, and the neck, trapezius muscle. And the next time the head rolls through center, bring it up to neutral. Begin to roll the shoulders forward, opening up the space between the scapula, the shoulder blades, the upper back. Eyes can even stay closed for this. So you're just observing the body. Anamaya kosha. We'll roll the shoulders back. So in yogic philosophy, there are these levels, these koshas, which in Sanskrit translates to sheaths, like a sheath of a sword, if you will. And the outermost layer, the outermost illusion, Maya illusion, is our bodies, that we are our bodies. And coming to stillness in the shoulders, inhale, arms sweep up overhead, reaching tall, reaching out of the waist. And exhale, bend over to the right, left arm reaches over for a side bend. Inhale brings you up through center. And exhale to the left. Sweeping side to side like this. So you can imagine that your true self, capital S self, is a light bulb. And on top of that light bulb is a lampshade, one of the koshas. And 5 lampshades, almost like a Russian doll, each one translucent, still allowing light to shine through, but slightly duller as you imagine as they accumulate. And this time when we land over to the right, let the left arm reach over, and then just kind of flop over the head. If your elbow reaches the ground, that's great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. We're just opening up this left side rib cage and breathing into the intercostal muscles, the muscles between the ribs here. So you can press a little deeper into the bend on that inhale, and the exhale is a little bit of a relaxation. So these levels, these koshas, the outermost, the biggest, if you will, lampshade, Annamaya kosha, our body. Then the next one in is Pranamaya kosha, that's our energetic level, the breath, our breath. And then the following lampshade is Manamaya kosha, the mind. Bring it all the way over to the left now. Landing, arm reaches, and then flops over. Like I said, inhale, we're pressing into the bend, and exhale, allowing it to relax. So our Manamaya kosha is where thoughts and feelings live. So you can kind of call it the problem child in yogic philosophy. That's also where disease is created. So not just negative, but like toxic thoughts, quite literally seep down into our breath. And incorrect breathing leads to disease in the body. Bring it back up through center. The exhale is a high twist to the right. Left hand lands on right knee, right hand lands on the ground behind you, and just staying nice and tall, chest opens to side wall. Inhale back up through center. And exhale to the right. To the left. The next lampshade in is called Vijnanamaya kosha, and that is the wisdom sheath. So that's what you know without knowing that you know it. It's like your intuition. So that's at a closer level to your true self according to this philosophical train of thought than your mind. We're connecting breath and body here, the speed of your body informed by the length of your breath. And that final sheath, the one closest to your true self, let the elbows bend here, hands come to ear height, and we'll give the hands a wave, beginning to warm up the wrists and the hands, is Anandamaya kosha. Ananda is bliss. And the idea is that once we can remove or just place to the side all of these illusions of self, what makes us separate from one another, we'll arrive at our true self in the realization that we are all the same energetic life force. So palms face down, our fingers are wiggling as we move them side to side. So the elbows aren't moving, the shoulders aren't moving, just the hands here. We're just warming up the hands and all their ligaments and tendons and muscles. But to get to that truth, we must dissolve ourselves of this maya, this illusion of our separateness. Palms flip towards the sky. It's like you're trying to bring your fingernails to your forearm. Fingers spread wide and rotate. So why would we want to dissolve our individuality? Most un-American thought ever. Like, what would even be the point of that? And, well, I've never been there, but imagine it has a lot to do with releasing the illusion, the maya, that we are alone and separate. and coming to terms with the truth that we are all connected in one. And just shake off water nice and gentle like, and the price of that feeling of wholeness, of perfection, of more than belonging is a dissolution of separateness, of identity, of ego. 3, 2, 1. So let's work on some neck resiliency here. As long as we're attached to our Anamaya Koshar body, let's have it feeling as good as possible, huh? So you don't have to turn to the side, I'm just turning to the side so that you can see the movement. Chin tucks in towards chest. I'm reaching all the way down, all the way forward, leading with my nose, making a nice big circle, up towards the sky, back, back, back. Chin tucks in towards chest. Making this one long, smooth movement. Shoulders are still, nothing in the rest of my body. It's just completely relaxed. Just a nice tall posture. Just the head is moving as we open up these spaces in the cervical spine and the neck. This was taught to me by my friend Rome, who's just like this Chechnyan mystic type dude living out in the desert in Nevada, who has all this great body knowledge, body wisdom, from all his physical therapy and functional training and primal movement practices. And we'll change directions. Head tilts back, it reaches up. Now we're leading with the chin as if the chin is making the circle. Still breathing fully through this movement, no holding in the breath. We bring it back to center. Just allow ear to drop side to side. Shake that off a little. And we'll extend the legs out long if there's not a dog behind you. Spread and scrunch the toes. Roll out the ankles. You're in my spot. Change directions. You're literally in my spot. Are you gonna just stay there? Yeah. Alright, feet come nice and wide, like mat's distance apart. There we go. We'll just drop the knees side to side, allowing the hips to just start warm up. Just make sure the legs are wide enough apart that when that inner knee comes down, it's not landing on top of the foot. And the next time the knees fall to the right, we'll bring the hands to frame the right knee and come into tabletop pose. I'll turn so that you can see what my arms are doing without flashing you, okay? Turn the hands out 90 degrees to face 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock on an analog clock. Make sense? Fingers spread wide, and at no point will the palms rise up. We're going to start just swaying, not even swaying is momentum, but moving the weight from one wrist over the other. You might bring your wrist closer. The closer your wrists are, I don't want to say deeper the stretch, but you can go further within the stretch. So you can always bring your hands out if you're finding that it's really painful. So we're working on our wrist resiliency. I know a bunch of you are in winter land, so goddess forbid you slip on ice. You know, all these movements are going to help build up your tolerance to impact. But also, if you know, I don't have any ice danger here, this helps undo all the doom scrolling and texting and typing and drawing and all these little fine motor skills that we do all day. So next time you're over the right hand, just hold the weight over there. Full breathing here. This is a movement that was taught to me almost 2 decades ago by a yoga teacher. We'll bring it over to the left. Good morning, Emmanuel's. 12:25. I'm doing great. How are you? And then once again, maybe 7 years ago, by a pole dance instructor. And then again last year with a functional movement friend. So completely different art forms, if you will. Body art forms, and yet it comes up again and again. That's how you know it's a good one. It shows up with different names across the board. Just last deep breath here. We bring it back to center. Tuck the toes under. And come seated up on the toes, and we'll just give the hands a little movement. You can interlace them and just make figure eights. Call this wrist flossing. This is a nice little break if you're seated at a desk mid-work day. Change directions. You just do this a little bit. You need a little break, a little shakeout break, but you can't like get up and start doing breath of joy. 1, 2, 3, just like shaking off water. We'll bring our hands underneath the shoulders for tabletop pose. On an inhale, belly drops, hips and chest rise for cow pose. And exhale, rounding in the spine, chin tucks in towards chest, pressing the ground away, opening the space between shoulder blades, cat pose. Following the breath in to rise, out to round. Breathing in and out through the nose if that's available for you. Slow down the breath, slow down the movement. Calibrating body and breath. Allow the speed of your body to be informed by the length of your breath. On the next inhale through cow pose, you can send the hips back. Through child's. So palms are pressed into the ground, arms are extended forward, elbows are off the ground. And then we're going to come forward, rounding in the spine like through cat, all the way to our cobra pose. So this is a deep hip stretch nice and early, opening front side body. And then through that cat pose, we're sending the hips back through child's pose. Rolling it forward with a rounded spine. Hips come down, belly and chest press forward. Sending it back with an arched spine to child's. Just rounding out that motion, or rather smoothing out that motion. the next time you come forward into this cobra pose, we'll lower belly, chest, head to the ground. Hands come down by the sides, pinkies pressed in, or like facing the thighs, palms face down. Big toes come to touch, tops of the feet press into the ground so hard that the knees lift. Mouth, chin, and forehead come centered. And then an inhale, chest and shoulders rise, shoulder blades squeeze together. I'm still pressing my feet into the ground. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Exhale gently lowers you down. Inhale, you rise up again. Maybe the arms rise up this time too. It's like my fingers are trying to touch my toes. And exhale, touches down. Inhale, rise chest, shoulders, arms, maybe the legs, only if this doesn't bother your lower back. Exhale, lowers down. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Got two more like this. Following the breath. In to rise. And out to lower. In to rise. And out to lower. And the hands come underneath the shoulders. We'll press the hips up through table. Big toes come to touch, knees spread wide. And sink the hips down towards the heels for child's pose. Head comes to land down, forehead on the ground. Just giving your lower back a moment to neutralize. Then coming on to tented fingertips, we'll walk the hands over to the right. Keep the left hip glued to that hip or pressing down towards it. It's okay if it doesn't touch. If it touches in the middle, don't let it lift. But if it doesn't touch in the middle, then you're just keeping it close to it. We're breathing into this left side body. You can even bring the left hand on top of the right hand for a bit deeper shoulder stretch. We'll tiptoe the hands all the way over to the left. Right hip glued to that heel or pressing down towards it. And you might even press that right hand on top of left hand for a deeper shoulder stretch, breathing into the intercostal muscles, those muscles between the ribs. Bringing the hands back towards center. Walk it up to seated. All right. From here, okay. From here, the knees come back towards one another, toes tuck under. We're going to come into a deep squat. So just lift the knees. Okay, on screen. And the feet are nice and wide. They're not like on the edges of the mat, but they might be in your body. Like statistically, you're taller than I am, so perhaps they are actually off the mat. And my feet are like a 45-degree angle, but I'm trying to bring them towards parallel, but they're a little bit out still. This is Malasana, deep squat. I'm using the insides of my elbows, so my knees want to knock together just naturally, so to avoid that, I'm just going to squeeze my arms down in between and then work on pressing them out. So hands come into Anjali Mudra, and as the hands come down, arms coming down towards 180 degrees, my knees naturally open up. That's just the pressure, the way that works. I'm trying to bring my chest up over my hips, so it's like seated up with nice tall posture. Likely this is where you're starting, so just imagine heavy hips, light heart. Heavy hips, light heart. So it's just a lean back. So we're just gonna a couple of times do that. Let the knees sink in towards center, and then hands press them open. Hands lift, hands lower. Hands lift, elbows press. Once more. And keep the knees out. Let your spine round. It's just like a reaching forward. So just let your back round, reaching forward. And here you might even begin to walk your hands out so that they're as far forward as they'll go. And then walk the hands out, apart from one another. Might feel a nice shoulder stretch here. If you still have room to play, you can bring your hands back behind you and just feel the knees pressing into the arms. Breathing here, really opening that upper back, the space between the shoulder blades. Nice, and then we'll release the arms back through center. Although I've never done yoga, it looks like something I can do when I'm stressed. You are totally welcome to do this when you're stressed, when you're happy, at any time. But yeah, it takes concentration. So, and you're focusing on your body and your breath instead of whatever is stressing you out. So, highly recommend, but obviously I'm biased. All right, so you guys are in a squat. I won't keep you there too long. Just gonna set the camera up a little bit better. All right, cool. So here we are in our deep squat malasana. Hands can come down to the mat. And then from this deep squat, we begin to extend the legs up. So bend in the knees, extend the legs up. Bend in the knees, extend the legs up. So heavy hips, light heart. Then think light hips, heavy head. Light hips, heavy head. Heavy hips, light heart. Light hips, heavy head. Heavy hips, light heart. Bring chat over here so I can see what y'all are saying. I can focus on something else apart from what's making me stressed. Yes, exactly. And the next time you have light hips and a heavy head, let your feet walk out to the edges of the mat. If they're not there already, you can give that head a nod, yes. Give the head a shape, no. Knees can be a little or a lot bent here. Grab opposite elbows to create a frame for your head. Just give yourself a rock side to side for ragdoll. Coming back towards center. Hands can come down, heel toe the feet in towards one another. Big toes come to touch, a little space between the ankles. Straighten out the legs. Hands come to shins for a halfway lift. Crown of the head towards the front of the wall. Tailbone towards the back of the wall. Like making the number 7 with your body. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale rolls you all the way up to stand one vertebra at a time. Heavy head comes up last. Ooh, gonna have to rearrange again. Quite figured out right. There we go. Comes up last. There we go. So from here, we're gonna tuck our chin back down towards chest and begin to roll down, once again, one vertebra at a time. The arms are totally relaxed. And I'm just letting the weight of my head drag me down. Imagining each vertebra in my spine moving on its own. So we're opening up spaces between the spine, flexibility in the spine. It's called the Jefferson curl. Head comes back up to neutral. We just got 2 more like this. When you first found out about yoga, what questions did you have about it? Let's see. When I first found out about yoga, I was reading one of my mom's books from like the 80s. It's called The Sivananda Yoga Companion. highly recommend. Still a bomb book. So, I don't know, I guess all my questions were kind of answered in that book. Or I don't know if that's true. I was like 13, so it's hard to say. But the first time I went to a yoga class in person, I was 14, Upper East Side, Manhattan. And I was just excited about everything that I was learning. I don't know if I had questions. I was just like open to learning anything that they had to say. It was a pretty vulnerable position to be in. Like, I don't know if as an adult I would have gone in so open-mindedly. But as a kid, it was like everything that this teacher said, this instructor said was gospel. I don't know, I guess I just didn't know any better. But she didn't steer me wrong, so guess I'm lucky like that. Alright, the next time you come up, let's just take a breath here to recalibrate with standing. When hands come onto the hips, we'll bring the right knee in towards the belly, standing one-legged tadasana. Bend in the standing leg, and we'll take a nice big step forward and out. Landing in our warrior one. So right foot moves towards right edge of the mat, left foot towards left edge of the mat, not standing that wide, but just so you're not on a balance beam. Left hips pulled back, right hips pulled forward, and arms sweep up on the inhale. And exhale, relax the shoulders back. We're looking up straight ahead, arms are strong, breath is strong. Pressing through the pinky side edge of the left foot. Then we'll open up to warrior two. So I just heel toe my foot in towards the center of the mat, my right foot in. Open up the arms like the letter T and shift my left foot back. So that if I were to draw a line from my front heel straight back, it would intersect the arch of the back foot. Shoot. I have to go for a little bit. Okay, we'll be here. Have a great stream. Thanks, friend. Thanks for the lurk. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi and asking questions. So warrior two, we've got right knee over right ankle. We're pressing into pinky side edge of the back foot. Hips and shoulders are open to the side, long side of the mat. And the gaze can be over the front fingertips. And inhale, reverse warrior. Right arm sweeps up, left arm sweeps forward. You can even grab onto that hip or your belly, wherever, whatever works for you to keep the chest open. Using this elbow to press into the hip, keeping everything nice and flat like in between two panes of glass. Full breath here. Then bringing it all the way through, landing on the forearm for extended side angle. So left hand straight up towards the sky. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Maybe that bottom arm extends straight. Now I'm pressing the elbow to the inside of the mat, inside of the knee. Not touching my hand down, even though okay, I know I can reach, but what's really happening here? What good is that really doing? Versus here, I'm building strength, pressing the elbow against the knee. I'm keeping the knee open, keeping the chest open, and this top arm can even reach up overhead to create this nice long line of energy from the pinky side edge of the foot through the fingertips. Full breath here. And then hands come down to frame that front foot, rolling onto the back left toes. And we'll step the right foot back to meet the left and downward facing dog. Lift the heels and release them. You might bend one knee and then the other. Just finding your way into this downward facing dog. We're just here for one deep breath. Hips pressing up high. And then tiptoe the hands
back, back, back into your forward fold. Big toes come to touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale rolls you all the way up to stand. Up, arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Hands come onto the hips. And the left knee bends and comes in towards the body. One-legged tadasana. Deep breath in here. In the exhale, bend in that right knee and step the left foot forward. Drop the back heel, walk left foot over towards left side of the mat for warrior one. Nice stable stance, left knee over left ankle, left hip pressing back, right hip pressing forward, and inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, shoulders melt away from the ears. Breathing strong and full here. We'll heel toe the left foot in towards center of the mat. Drop the right heel down. I'm going to turn just so that I can keep talking to the actual camera. And arms come down parallel to the ground for warrior two. Still left knee is over left ankle. If I were to draw a line from the front heel straight back, it would intersect the arch of the back foot and gaze is over the front fingertips. Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, reverse. Left arm reaches up. Right arm sweeps across the body, grabbing onto hip or side body. Breathing into those ribs for another deep breath in and out. And then bringing it all the way forward into extended side angle, dropping the forearm onto the thigh and the right arm straight to the sky. You might play here with extending that arm straight, pressing the elbow into the knee, knees kind of pressing back, still it's over the ankle, and maybe the top arm is even reaching up overhead. So I'm pressing through the pinky side edge of my foot, I'm reaching through the right fingertips, full breath here. And then hands come down to frame that front foot, pivoting onto the back toes. Palms come down to the ground and the left leg steps back to meet the right for a downward facing dog. We just got one full breath here. And walk the hands back, back, back. Big toes come to touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale brings you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Turn to face one another. And the right knee floats up. Using just core strength. Hands come onto the hips. We'll interlace the fingers below the knee and avoiding the belly, pull the knee in towards the right armpit. Standing leg is strong. Avoid a deep bend in that knee. Shoulders over hips, head over shoulders. The shoulders are totally relaxed. We're using some bicep strength to bring the knee up, but not shoulder strength. So we're not pulling the shoulders up. Keeping the shoulders down and back. Learning to isolate that curling in muscle in the arms. We'll let the knee come down, thigh parallel to the ground. Left hand comes to the outside of the right knee, and right arm sweeps open, opening the chest to the side wall. So I'm reaching behind me. Breathing fully here. This is the position your body's used to being in. We We come into this at the end of every practice in Supta Matsundrasana. So now we're adding a balance element to it. Bring the arm back through center. Remember, you're not pivoting. I'm just turning so that you can see what's going on. And now right hand guides right knee open, left arm sweeps open to counterbalance. I'm going to change the grip on the leg so it's behind. Deep breath in. And the exhale, extend the legs straight. Inhale, the knee bends. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend. And last time, extend. Knee bends. Bring it back through center. And release the leg down nice and gentle. Deep breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. And the left knee floats up and in towards the chest. Using just core strength. Fingers interlace below the knee, avoiding the belly. Knee pulls in towards the shoulder. Shoulders are relaxed. Just using that bicep strength to pull the knee in. Like a standing wind relieving pose. We'll let the leg release until the thighs parallel to the ground. Right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. And left arm sweeps open. So we're in a standing twist. Or a balancing spinal twist. Reaching with these fingertips. Standing tall, breathing strong. Bring it back through center. Then left hand guides left knee open as right arm opens up to counterbalance. Change the grip. So the hand comes behind the knee. Deep breath in here. Exhale, extend the leg long. Inhale to bend. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. Knee bends, comes back through center, and releases down to the mat. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And roll out the ankles. And start to give that leg a shake. Other leg a shake. Hands give a shake. Whole body starts to shake. We're going to start our lymphatic shaking portion of class. So we're bringing a bounce to the whole body. So it just looks like lifting the heels and letting them drop down to create this reverberation. Or you can bring like a proper jump to it all. Just let the shoulders flop, arms flop. Just letting the body kind of be like loose and jiggly. Just imagine your body's like a protein shaker and it has like all that dusty powder on the edges. And you're trying to just give it a good shake with water and that little metal thing to scrape off the crusty edges. So we're unblocking all those estuaries of blood vessels in our body. Any stuck lymph, any stuck fluids, we're just flushing it out here with a proper shake. Taking off any frustration or stress that you've been dealing with or holding on to inadvertently in the body is where it manifests, right? Mind, manamaya kosha, these thoughts, these nagging anxieties and stresses that we deal with. They get passed into our breath, and as we hold our breath, we build tension in our body, creating these points of physical trauma. In yoga, they're called samskaras, these little tight spots throughout our system that we may not even be aware of. They might be reoccurring. And here's just an opportunity to shake it out. When you feel like stopping, just double time. You can audibly exhale, highly recommend and encourage. Take up space, physically, audibly. We'll come into our breath of joy. So, feet come nice and wide. 4 parts. 3 sips of air in through the nose. And a big ha out through the mouth. Arms sweep forward on an inhale. Arms sweep out on an inhale. Arms sweep up on the final inhale. And a big ha through the mouth. Knees bend, arms sweep back. So, in, 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 ha, in, 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 ha, in, ha. To go. If you haven't joined in yet, now's your chance. Ha! Ha! Last one, make it count. Ha! Ha! Hand lands on the belly, hand lands on the chest, feet nice and wide, stable stance, eyes closed. I'll just take a moment here to arrive and observe what was created. Perhaps elevated heart rate, increased breath rate, but what else shows up for you when you let yourself take up space, let yourself be loud, and let yourself let go. Or what shows up as resistance to stop you from fully participating? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. Allow your eyes to gently blink open. You might grab a sip of water or towel off any sweat that might have created. If you're already on the ground, just stay there. We'll meet you there. And if you're not, you can come down with me. So coming to the back of the mat, inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, hands on shins. And exhale, bend in the knees deep, 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 so deep. And you come to seated. Walk the hands back, coming down to seated. Extend the legs out in front. And then just so tadasana, staff pose, like making the letter L in the body. We'll just shift forward, shimmy forward a bit to get a little anterior tilt in the lower back. So we're trying to sit nice and tall with the hips tilted forward. Backs of the feet press out. Feet flex so hard that the heels might even lift up off the ground. Deep breath in. And an exhale, we hinge forward. Belly, chest, head towards the feet. Doesn't matter if the hands grab the feet or anything like that. They don't even have to grab anything. They could literally just stay palms face up. It's more like you're trying to get your belly to touch the thighs, get your chest to touch your knees, chin to shin. The legs stay straight. I'm still flexing my heels, pressing them away, getting my legs as straight as possible. Is there space below my knees? Yes, that's just the shape of my body. But I'm trying to press the knees down, not with my hands, just with muscle strength. Paschimottanasana, head to feet pose. The arms, like I said, can be relaxed out by the side. If it feels better for you to grab onto the legs, you can use them. It's not pulling you down, it's pulling you forward, like you're trying to get your head to your feet. Paschimottanasana translates to head to feet pose. Notice every exhale gives you some more space in the belly to relax into the posture. Every inhale takes you out of the pose just a little bit. I'm exaggerating a bit here. But as my belly fills, I'm coming out of the pose. As my belly empties, with the exhale, I'm coming in a little deeper. Let my shoulders relax. They're not doing any of the work here. All the work is in the breath. Last deep breath here. And we'll bring it back up to seated. Right foot comes to the outside of the left knee. Right hand on the ground close to the lower back. So I'm seated up nice and tall. Chest tilts up. Tall spine. Left arm sweeps up on the inhale. And exhale, hook the outside of the left elbow with the right knee. And press elbow into knee. So we've been working on that all class, using this tension to our benefit, to our advantage. There we go. Using this tension to our advantage to help pull this right shoulder back. Chest is opening towards the side wall. If your elbow doesn't reach the outside of the knee, you can also hug the knee. Now I'm pulling it in, bringing left shoulder forward, pulling right shoulder back. Matsyendrasana. So this is seated spinal twist. Hand can stay up, or release down. You might even look over the shoulder, but the neck is just like added. It's just extra. The spinal twist here, the focus is between the shoulders and the hips. Bottom leg can be flexed, keeping that leg strong. And the last full breath here. Bring it back through center. The hands, I'm just turning, you don't have to turn, but come to the opposite side. I'm not twisting or putting any effort in here. I'm just doing a natural counter twist for a breath. Back to center. Extend the right leg long. Left knee bends. Foot comes to the outside of the right knee. You can see. Left hand on the ground close to your lower back, and it's helping you get nice and tall, nice and straight. Right arm sweeps up on the inhale. And exhale, hook the elbow or hug the knee. Using that leverage to press the chest open. So I'm pulling this left shoulder back, Pressing the right shoulder forward. Imagine your spine is like a spiral staircase. From the bottom, it's spiraling up through middle spine, transverse spine, and even shoulders are helping with that. The last thing, the icing on the cake, might just be looking over that shoulder, but it shouldn't be constricting your breath even more. We're already constricting the breath quite enough with this final twist, Matsyendrasana. I'm just got one more deep breath here. Releasing it back through center. Hands come down to the opposite side. I'm not twisting. There's no effort here. It's just a passive breath in the counter stretch. Bring it back to center. Both legs extend out straight. Bend in the knees. Make sure there's nothing behind you. We'll gently roll back. Give the knees a hug in. Little rock side to side, a little lower back massage. Let the feet come down close to the heels. Sorry, the heels come down close to the hips. Hands release down by the sides, shoulders tuck under. And then we'll press the hips up towards the sky, peeling the spine up and away from the ground for our bridge pose. Exhale lowers you down one vertebra at a time. So a rolling bridge. Reconnecting with the breath here. Inhale lifts you up towards the sky, Setu Bandhasana. And exhale lowers you down. Really visualizing in your mind's eye each vertebra working independently to lift and peel off the ground. And on the exhale, lowering, touching one vertebra down at a time. Slow the movement down, smooth the movement out. And the next time your hips touch down, no rush, big toes come to touch. And allow the knees to splay open for our Supta Baddha Konasana, our supine bound angle pose. So just the legs are opening up like a diamond. You might play with how close the feet are to the hips or further away, whatever feels good in your hips. Arms might reach up overhead or land on the belly, kind of wherever they naturally land is going to be the right answer for you. We're just breathing fully here. Exhales, just invite some relaxation to the body. So any holding, any clenching in the jaw, holding in the shoulders, just invite it to release with your next exhale. So you can focus on the hips and reassure them that they're okay, because they might be feeling panicked right now. This is a really vulnerable, open-bodied position. So you might just feel your mana maya kosha, your emotions starting to fire up, your defense mechanism starting to fire up, and you might even feel that manifesting by a holding in the hips physically. And just gotta remind yourself, remind your body, assure your body that it's okay, it's not in harm's way. Think about like a hedgehog, just living its life. And but when it sees a hawk fly overhead, what's it gonna do? It rolls up into a little ball. It protects its squishy little belly, its heart, and all of that. So humans kind of do that too with our closed body positions, crossing our arms in front of our chest, kind of like flexing and tensing up. So right now, there's like no need for that. There's no hawk flying overhead. There's no one coming to hurt you. It's just you on your mat, with your breath. Just notice, is there any last movement or wiggle or stretch that your body's asking for? As we head into Savasana, final relaxation pose, go ahead and move through that intuitive movement as it calls for you. Alternately, you can just straighten the legs straight out from here if you're just ready for some stillness. Arms release down by the sides, palms face open. Might tuck the shoulders under a bit to support the chest. And taking your time, if you do have movement calling to your body, to roll through that. You might place a blanket over your body or put on socks, as your body temperature will lower in this next practice. When you're ready, coming into Savasana, final relaxation pose with the legs extended down the length of the mat, feet at least a foot apart, legs so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open to the sides. Palms are face open to the sky. Head's neutral, eyes can close if that's comfortable. If not, a soft gaze towards the ceiling is just fine. And if this positioning brings any pain to your lower back, just bend in the knees, bring the feet nice and wide, and drop the knees in towards center for broken bridge, lifting the hips just a bit to lengthen the lower back and place the hips back down. Traditionally, it is practiced with legs down the length of the mat. I'm going to come up to seated just to better lead you through this meditation, but you stay laying back. And we'll start this practice as we did our seated one with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. No need to lift the shoulders, just let them stay relaxed and supported below you. Inhales through the nose, and an audible sigh is the invitation, so you can hear your exhalation all dramatic like. It really does help. And allow the breathing to continue just in and out through the nose if that's available. Inviting exhalations to become longer and deeper than your inhalations. Invite space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy. And tongue relaxes away from the roof of the mouth. A symbol of chitta vritti, monkey mind, and we're just inviting that monkey to sit this one out. The muscles of the lips and the cheeks relax. Nose and nostrils rest, allowing breath to gently pass through like waves lapping up to shore. Eyes rest heavy in their sockets, eyelids just barely touching. And the space between the eyebrows broadens as the muscles in the forehead relax. And muscles
muscles surrounding the ears with all their wrinkles and folds all the way deep down into the ear canals. Rest, passive and receptive. Muscles of the back of the head, crown of the head, and the hairline all relax. Throat and neck release. Shoulders and shoulder blades melt away. Upper arms and elbows relax. Forearms and wrists release. Palms, backs of the hands, knuckles, fingers, fingertips, whole hands alive with vibration, whole hands alive with creative potential. Rest and integrate all that you practice. Upper back, middle and lower back relax, supported by the earth below. Chest and belly naturally rise and fall with the breath. Pelvis, glutes, hips rest heavy, supported by the earth below. Thighs and knees melt away. Lower legs and ankles relax. Heels, arches, toe ball mounds, tops of the feet, and all of the toes relax. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Notice if in your mind, if even for just a moment, there was a pause, some silence in that inner dialogue. Notice if in your breath there's ease. Notice if in your body the places of tension have found space. The places of restlessness have found peace. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. And know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Nothing more and nothing less. Gently allow your inhalations to deepen and become longer than your exhalations. With every inhale, that feeling of heaviness is replaced with a feeling of openness and expansion as the attention is brought back to the surface, front side of the body. Fingers begin to wiggle and toes begin to curl. Head gently rocks side to side. And arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. Allow the knees to bend and roll over to whichever side feels natural, landing in a fetal position. Fully relaxed and fully supported by the ground below you. Bring to mind any intention or dedication you set for class today. Or take this opportunity to set one now. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. With eyes still closed or gently lowered, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position, just like how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Today, we worked on a series of spine opening postures, some spinal health with twists, folds, and back bends. The first namaste said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste said out loud to everyone that held this space, namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who joined me this morning or today. I don't know if it's morning for you. Namaste, Bodhi. Thank you, Mel. Thank you for another beautiful session. Thank you for joining. So great having you. I hope that everyone who joined in, I hope that you found something that serves you, something that you can take with you off the mat and into the world. And yes, thank you, Bodhi. I do really appreciate and I can really use tips for class. They're never required, but always appreciated. $5 just does get you a recording of class. So if you ever miss class, you can send me $5 and I'll send you the class you missed. Or if you really enjoyed today's class, you can ask for today's class and I'll send you that. And they include timestamps. So you can go straight to the lymphatic shaking when you need to scream in the middle of your workday, straight to Savasana when you need to calm down and meditate before bed, to the grounding meditation in the beginning, or the movement. If you want to get straight to movement, you don't have to scroll around trying to find that between all my talking. You can just get straight to your favorite part of class. And I do appreciate that through Venmo or through Streamlabs on the link that Bodhi most graciously provided. Either or is really helpful to me. And yeah, who knows, if we, I might be able to buy those crystal bowls on my wish list just with tips. That would be really dope. And we can shake it up. Although, lots of gratitude for my Tibetan singing bowls. These were a really great gift. So, yeah, I hope you're all feeling well and rejuvenated and relaxed and de-stressed. and all the other things that you come to class for. Really enjoying and really grateful for our mornings together and the support. And I hope that my intention is that you feel supported back by me and by this channel and this community, because I feel it, so I hope that you're feeling it back as well. I'll be back same time, same place tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and yeah, take care, my friends. Much love from me to you. Happy Wednesday. Another solid work day coming up. You all know that you can reach out to me publicly here in the chat, and privately through whispers on stream, through Messenger on Facebook, through DM on Instagram. That's probably going to be your best bet, unless you know me IRL. Hello, Daydream, my love. Unless you know me IRL, then text is going to be your fastest way to communicate with me. It's the only notification I have on my phone besides phone calls. So everything else I'll get to when I get to, but know that I will answer all of your yoga, philosophy, and meditation questions to the best of my ability and be honest with you when I don't know the answer. So, alright. Much love, my friends. Namaste. Be well, and goodbye.